What if I told you that there's a fundamentally basic fact about our society that's certain to be completely wrong, and almost certain to be massively wrong by a substantially large margin, and that this could represent one of the biggest political cover-ups of the modern era? The age of mass migration has brought with it numerous pitfalls, many of them controversial for obvious reasons, but one manifestly provable impact it's had, which can't be argued against, is that it's ballooned our population size. Officially, as of 2022, the UK population stood at around 67 million. That figure's now likely to be at least 1 million higher given the surge in both legal and illegal immigration over the last 2 years. Let's call it 68 million, that's roughly the official number. Or at least, that's what they tell us. I was shocked to discover what the actual number might be. Martin Baker, a respected journalist who wrote for The Observer, International Herald Tribune and the Daily Telegraph, penned a bombshell article for The Independent way back in 2007 that got little attention at the time, but is now increasingly being cited as having uncovered something alarming. Convinced that the official UK population estimate was a bit off, to say the least. And remember, this is 17 years ago, at a time when the official figure stood at around 61 million people. Baker sensationally concluded the population of the UK is presently somewhere between 77 and 80 million. In 2007. His evidence? Levels of consumption. Baker cites a source with a major supermarket chain who told him, quote, "Based on what we eat, there are 80 million people living in the UK. The demand for food is a reliable indicator." I have a second respectable source, wrote Baker. A major non-commercial agricultural institution reckons there are 77 million of us in the UK. Again, its reckoning is based on what we eat. And given that Baker was a business journalist for some of the world's top publications, he would have had these kind of contacts. When David Buick, a money manager with broker BGC Partners, said there were 1 million Eastern Europeans unaccounted for in London alone, Baker called that a conservative estimate. Respondents to the article pointed out that mobile phone contracts and sewerage output also clearly indicate the population is far higher than what we're being told. Baker said his sources were solid, but were afraid of admitting the truth for fear of incurring the wrath of government, because doing so would be like lobbing a political hand grenade. Baker called it the statistic that dare not speak its name, though eventually it must. It has huge ramifications for the civil and political life of this country. Which begs the question, if the population of the UK was closer to 80 million people 17 years ago, what on earth is it now? It's a question I've heard so many times before. Paul, you're nearly pushing middle age. Alright, rude. How come you look 10 years younger than you are? Only 10? Well, it's not rocket science. It's called regularly moisturising your face and having a good skincare routine. That's why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as the sponsor of today's video. They help men start and maintain a skincare routine by simplifying the entire process. I recommend you start with their Level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of all the dirt and grime on your skin. A 2 times a week exfoliating scrub to get rid of all the dead skin cells. An AM moisturiser with SPF 20, because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturiser to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Their products have made my skin look and feel healthier than ever. But you don't have to just take my word for it. They've got over 7,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers around the world. And because Tiege is sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the link in the description to get 30% off your first skincare system and a free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. By the way, both gifts you're choosing from are $20 value and are complete game changers. A silicone body scrubber or a nail and face grooming kit. They've pouched it up all nice as well. Personally, I prefer the silicone body scrubber because it just feels so soft and silky on the skin. Ooh, not gonna lie, that does feel nice. So don't wait any longer. Click the link in the description box down below to start your skincare journey today. Bear in mind that Martin Baker, the journalist who first exposed what the shocking figure might be, and sadly died in 2022, was by no means some right-wing ideologue with some axe to grind about mass migration. He was a left-wing writer, publisher and lawyer, writing for The Independent, a left-wing newspaper. And judging by his reaction to Brexit, which he railed against for years afterwards, Baker was actually a proponent of mass migration. In fact, in his article, he warns that, quote, if the true numbers were revealed, the Little Englanders and xenophobes would come out in force about the evils of immigration. But Baker was by no means alone when speculating on this 80 million figure. In 2006, the Bank of England expressed its distrust for the official UK population figure. In 2008, Conservative MP Greg Hands wrote, quote, a leading figure at Tesco recently told one of my parliamentary colleagues that they estimate the population of the UK to be closer to 80 million, based on the volume of certain staples they sell. Tesco are probably a world leader in understanding the consumer market, so it would be foolish to disregard their opinion. Hands also highlighted how local councils found their boroughs' populations to be significantly higher than the official ONS estimate. It seems like it's way worse than any of us were told, and people wonder why they can't get a doctor's appointment. Young people wonder why they can't get a house, why their rents have skyrocketed, why school class sizes are getting bloated to unsustainable levels, why traffic is so chronically bad, why UK roads are all starting to look like this, why our prisons are so full the Labour government is now actively releasing criminals who haven't even done half their time. Several publications have attempted to dismiss this whole thing as a baseless conspiracy for years, including that paragon of credibility, BuzzFeed, insisting that it's beyond crazy to even suggest the UK population is anything above the official government figure. But we know for a fact that's completely untrue. The government itself estimates that around 3% of households, or about 850,000, didn't return the 2021 census. Now times the number of households by the number of people who live in them on average. 2.2. So that's over 1.8 million people you can add to the official population figure right off the bat. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a question of how much they've got it wrong, and whether or not it was deliberate. Then add on top of that the untold number of illegal immigrants living in the UK, which they say is anything up to 1.2 million, but going by Baker's reporting is probably far higher. Could this be one of the biggest cover-ups of the modern age? What do you think the real population of the UK actually is? And the same goes for basically any Western country that's had mass migration inflicted upon it. Germans, Canadians, Americans. What do you think the population size of your country really is? And how far removed is it from the official figure? I'll be fascinated to read your responses in the comments down below. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.